TG Geeks, episode 246, November 4th, 2019. These, they, those, them? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, where it's getting cool in the mornings now.
No kidding. And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from a very phlegmy Phoenix.
Phlegmy Phoenix.
Phlegmy.
Phlegmy. My friends call me Phlegm.
Yes, because we both have that guck in the throat.
Let's get on with the show.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Well, in this episode, we are talking to Gretchen Wylder, who has written These Thems.
We're going to be very embarrassed if it's not.
Anyway, and we'll have our birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week, everybody's favorite feedback, or give our few shout-outs. And then in our second segment, we're going to talk about what we did last weekend, which was kind of interesting. And then we'll have our weekly recap and our other shout-outs. So let's get started with Gretchen's interview. And this time we welcome to the show Ms. Gretchen Wylder. She is the creator, writer, actor, craft services of These Thems. Welcome to the show, Gretchen.
Lighting director, costume maker.
Not even that.
Yeah. When I say craft services, it means you ordered pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not even that far off. Yeah.
Yeah, I got credited with craft services.
Oh my God!
On an episode of
Fusion Patrol
way back in the cable access days.
Oh
it's
my
because
God.
I ordered
you
pizza.
ordered pizza. Yeah. Well,
Anyway, we're here to talk about Gretchen, not me. So welcome to the show. This is really exciting. Tell us who Gretchen Wylder is. How did you get into filmmaking? And then we'll segue into These Thems, because that sounds like, what in the heck is that? So tell us who Gretchen Wylder is first.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm Gretchen. I am a Pisces sun, a Leo rising. I have been an actor for the past 15 years. I lived in Chicago for 6 years. I lived in New York for the last 9. And now I'm an LA resident. So that's fun, I guess.
I guess. The traffic's a little crazier spread out, let's put it that way. It's more compact in the city.
So nice.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah. So I've been a stage actor and was doing that professionally, and just kind of was frustrated with the theater world in general. So why not just go into the filmmaking world, you know? But yeah, I am a LGBTQ activist. I really try and bring a lot of awareness to the community, and I kind of decided to combine my superpowers of acting and writing with my passion for bringing awareness and education to my community. And so here we are, and I've been kind of like doing that full time for the past 3 years.
How did you get into the business? I mean, what was it about the business itself that was alluring, that made you want to get into it?
I mean, it's funny. I feel like I never chose acting. Like, it chose me. From when I was a kid, it's all I've wanted to do, which has been kind of a blessing and a curse, because it's a very difficult business, and there's just literally nothing else that I ever could see myself doing or wanting to do. And I think that's really the only way to go into this business in a sane way, to be like, all right, I guess there's nothing else that I should be doing, so I will commit myself to this really insane industry for decades.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you started out and did stage acting, and I noticed that you said that you got really frustrated with the stage acting. And it's interesting. It's a lot easier to make a film, on a nothing budget, literally, than it is to mount a play, even in a local theater. I mean, it costs money to rent the thing and all of that kind of stuff. It costs significantly more to do a stage play anywhere, unless you just, fall into the right bucket. But it's a lot easier to make a film, I think. Is that kind of...
Well, that wasn't my experience, but I also didn't really mount my own productions. I was an actor in a lot of regional shows and a lot of off-Broadway shows and a lot of international shows and tours. And so I never really mounted my own things. But filmmaking, fun fact, very expensive. I didn't realize this. I ended up having to crowdfund quite a bit of money, but fortunately was able to do that. And yeah, I think my frustration with the acting, with like the stage theater acting industry, is that even though, we feel like as queer people, Hollywood is kind of behind the times still, the theater world is way behind the times.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Everybody knows we're there, but nobody wants to say that we're there.
Isn't that wild? It's so bizarre. Yeah.
I would not have expected that, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, good grief, 90%. Would you say? Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but we are all over the theater scene. And,
well, you look at something like the Tony Awards, and I hear the Tonys are not the Tonys are like the gay Super Bowl. So you would think that we would literally be all over, and just so. Spilling out over the sides in that particular entertainment industry, and we're not. It's unusual.
Yeah, I mean, we are, but the storylines don't reflect our lives, which is just so interesting and bizarre to me. So yeah, I was doing a show out in North Carolina 3 years ago, and then the election happened. Dun, dun, dun. And that's what kind of made me lose my mind a little bit. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll have to write something that I can create to benefit the world, really, because I was, it was not fun being in North Carolina for that election.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's for sure.
No, but one thing that is for certain is that the independent market is very fertile grounds for a lot of content that is LGBTQ friendly.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's truly amazing how much LGBTQ content is out in the independent world. And we've been fond of saying for a very long time that you find some of the best films from independent filmmakers versus some of the big studios.
Yeah.
I mean, the content is you just don't get it. Just doesn't get the press and the legs that other things have. But we have seen some absolutely incredible things
and just amazing talent. Period.
Yeah,
very talented people that focus on that.
100%. And it's been such a great experience going to these film festivals with my digital series, because I get to see some of these films and I'm like, oh, wow, there is this whole plethora of amazing creators and actors that are, representing the community in a really awesome way. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion to have, where the money is going and why isn't there more of it for our community when people are so hungry for content.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's something I'm trying to navigate right now.
So we're talking to you because you have created something, and you've alluded to that now. So tell us what it is. What is These Thems?
How did it come about?
How did that come about, and what is it about?
Yeah. So These Thems is a digital comedy series following the lives of 4 queer friends in New York City and Brooklyn. And the main characters include a newly out lesbian who's trying to make up for lost time, and that's played by me.
I wonder what that means.
Befriends. Excuse me?
I said, I wonder what that means. Making up for lost time.
Oh, you'll see. My mother was not happy.
Indeed.
No, she has, she enjoyed it. But, so my character, and then I quickly befriend a non-binary educator who is really trying to train the straights.
Oh, dear.
So they kind of take me under their wing and teach me about gender-neutral pronouns and the queer spectrum and what this world is that I'm now a part of. Also, their best friend is not out at work as trans, and so we deal with that character and seeing him trying to navigate this space of deciding on whether or not to come out at work as trans because there is a queer account that has opened up at that job, and he doesn't know whether or not he should take it or not. And then the fourth main character is my gay best friend who is looking for love and finds it in Asher, who I just mentioned, who's the trans character. And then we have to navigate his experience of falling for someone who isn't a cis gay man, and what does that mean for him and his identity.
Wow.
That's a lot of social ground there.
Yeah, and that's incredible. We had that discussion with an author yesterday about the whole spectrum of the whole queer spectrum and, non-binary and trans and all of this. And I think it's wonderful that those things are being talked about today.
Yeah, now,
because we're all humans.
Right.
That's what it kind of
we're all
comes
human
down
beings.
to, and we're all over the place. And no matter whether you're...
Go
ahead.
Yeah, it's so fascinating because, right, I feel like our community is going through this beautiful evolution, and it isn't just, lesbian and gay, where there used to be, that was where all the awareness was. It's, multifaceted and intersectional, and people can identify as multiple things at once, or, go through personal evolution, personal transformation. And that's one thing I really wanted to convey when I made this show, because my group of friends from New York that I've lived, as I mentioned, for almost a decade, weren't really the quote-unquote lesbians in the lesbian scene. My friends are the queerdos, and that's who I identify as.
I love that.
Whoa, that is a great term, queerdo.
Weirdo, yeah.
Oh man, we need to adopt that one. That is awesome.
I'm stealing that.
Totally, go for it. It's so important to talk about, and that's why I made this show, so that I could create some characters that are relatable and likable, and so people can kind of learn about the world through that lens. I also really feel like comedy is the best way to educate people.
Okay.
It's the best way to get something across. When you see my show, everything about it comes from a place of love. Comes from a place of love and acceptance. And the characters, there are some of the characters really do screw up.
Well, don't we all? That's life.
Exactly. And so it's about, accepting our humanity, really, and realizing, yes, we all make mistakes. Yes, we're like, nobody's perfect. Everyone's just trying to figure themselves out and trying to be kind along the way. And so that really comes through in the show, which is one of my personal favorite things about it.
Cool.
Is that there's like humanity, but there's also compassion and understanding, and we're all just trying to figure each other out, and let's just hold space for that and be supportive and loving, and also correct people when they're wrong, you know?
Right.
You had made mention about it being, you're doing this as a comedy, and it just seemed like to be a better vehicle. Did at any point you think, maybe you initially thought about doing it as a drama and then thought, I don't know, maybe doing it as a dramatic piece of work, maybe that would, maybe alienate people? Because I've seen a lot of dramas that, looking at streaming services like Here TV and Deku, and I've seen a lot of dramas there that, because they're trying to be serious, they come off as almost plodding, and the characters end up becoming unlikable in some fashion. Did you find that as you were developing it as a comedy, it created a situation that was doing a better job of building bridges, shall we say?
100%. I love comedy. It's always what I've been drawn to. So I never wanted to make a drama. I don't like dramas normally.
But generally, I don't either.
Life is dramatic enough as it is, honestly.
Yeah, I prefer to laugh myself.
Yeah, exactly, totally. And I think that so I never imagined this as a drama, but I certainly some of the scenes and some of the situations became a little more dramatic, and I chose to either save some of those scenes for season 2 when we have more of like a grounding of this reality, or I just kept rewriting the scenes so that like no character, even there are straight characters in the show, and even the straight characters end up like learning something, but you can empathize with them. Like, no one's a jerk, no one's like abusive.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many narratives like that out there, and
Right.
I just didn't want that. We deserve like a cute, fun rom-com.
Well, we are.
Like,
We are a cute, fun people.
Yes, exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Aren't we?
Exactly. Yes, we are.
Many years ago, we were doing something. It was the Gay Opera Guild of
my
Phoenix.
God.
And I was interviewed, and I said, art imitates life. I said, we live such colorful lives as gay people, or LGBTQ people, or LGBTQ plus.
Alphabet people.
Alphabet people, yes. And I said, our lives are so full of stuff, you can only show it in art, so...
Absolutely, yeah.
Art imitates life, not life imitates
Yes,
art.
it does. And I think something really cool about doing it as a comedy is that I think that gives you a broader spectrum of being able to tell a story. You can have something that's being a comedy and then go into that area of drama. But if you were to just say, well, this is a drama, then you can't really cross, the boundary the other way and say, well, let me throw on a comedic element.
Well, it's a dramedy.
Well, but see, it doesn't quite work then.
100%.
Because when you do that, then the humor seems forced.
Yeah.
But I think if you approach it as a comedy, then maybe the humor seems more organic, and it allows for the drama to kind of come out there. So I think it's a smart idea doing it as a comedy. It, as I said, it gives you a broader palette to work with, I think.
Yeah, no, totally. Thank you for that. Yeah, and it's interesting because the character of Asher, who again is our trans masculine character, his character actually doesn't even come out. We don't even realize he's trans until episode 4.
Wow.
And so it's an interesting moment, and there is episode 1 through 3 is like laugh, 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 all these things. This is a really fun series. And then episode 4, there is a moment where Asher comes out to Kevin, who is the cis gay best friend. And all of a sudden, it's been really wonderful to watch it in the theaters with an audience because it really, like, you feel it. Like, you really now empathize with these characters because you've been, like, living with them and enjoying them and laughing with them and seeing their, like, kindness and humanity. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, there is room for these, like, kind of deeper narratives, and where are we going to go from here?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, so I wouldn't say like this is a dramedy. I definitely still feel like it's a comedy, but it's a comedy with heart is how my director and I like to talk about it.
So how many episodes is the series?
So it's 7 episodes. They're each around 10 to 12 minutes long with a longer finale. So the finale is like 18 minutes, I think.
Okay, cool.
But it's basically like a feature film if you watch it straight. Like back to, I shouldn't say straight, forgive me.
Directly through.
Directly through. Yes, there you go. Yeah. We don't use the S word here.
Yeah. It's around 80 minutes long total.
Yeah. How long have you been working on this?
So, as I mentioned, I started writing it the day after the election. So, I started writing it almost 3 years ago. And I crowdfunded for it January of 2018. Between that time, I had been doing rewrites. I had 4 table readings in New York City, where I just brought friends to read the cast and had to make adjustments from there. And then we went into production. There were definitely some stalled production, happenings, but we finally filmed it in December of last year, so December of 2018. We filmed for 11 days, which to film 80 pages in 11 days is really crazy. I didn't realize this. Again, as a theater actor, I was like, oh, it's the length of a 1 act. We'll be fine.
Famous last words.
Very difficult. And we've just been kind of like plowing through post-production, and it's been an interesting journey because we've been slowly releasing the episodes at festivals when they've been ready. So we just now are at a place where the whole thing is done and it feels really good. And we just had a big LA screening of it for industry folks and community, and the reception was just wonderful. And then we're taking it home to New York, baby.
Yay.
So when is that New York festival supposed to be?
The New York Festival is October 25th.
Okay, so it's
that's already happened.
Yeah, by the time this episode airs, it will have already happened. So there's that.
Yeah.
But there will be other ways that people can actually be able to see this.
Yes.
And how is that?
Yes, tell us about that.
Yeah, so we are currently locking down the release date. It's an interesting world we're navigating right now because we're in talks with some people who may want to move forward with it in a different direction. But if we want to independently release it, which I think is what's going to happen, we will be releasing on YouTube on November 11th, 11/11. And that we do have a YouTube page right now, so if people are interested, they can subscribe to it immediately, and then they'll be notified when the episodes are online.
Cool.
And the YouTube channel is These Thems?
These Thems. You can go to youtube.com/c/these thems. All one word.
Cool.
Very nice. So if people want to learn more about you and anything that you might be doing, because obviously this is not going to be the only thing you're going to be doing. You've got other things in the pipeline, I'm sure. So if people want to learn more about you, more about what's going on in your brain and other creative projects that you've got going on, do you have a social media presence by which they can follow you?
I do indeed, yes. So you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Gretchen Wylder. That's GretchenWylder. And you can also follow the show. That's a really great way to keep up with the show because our Instagram is popping. I'm trying to get our Twitter there too. But the show's social media is at @these_thems. So THESE_THEMS.
Cool. Let's see. Anything else? Facebook?
Yeah, is there like a Facebook presence?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There's so many social medias now.
know.
It's so hard to keep up.
It is.
It's very difficult.
I know.
Yes,
trust me.
Facebook
We
as
do
well.
this all ourselves.
Yeah, we do this.
too.
Yeah. We know how crazy it can be.
It's like it takes
I
up
know,
an
and now
hour
there's
of our
all these
morning.
others coming out. It's impossible. It's crazy. But yes, we're on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/thesethems as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
This has been really great. We look forward to seeing this ourselves.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it now.
Yeah. So thank you for being on the
Yeah.
show this time, Gretchen.
Yeah, thank you so much. And when you do watch it, just know that pretty much everyone who had a hand in creating this series was a member of our queer community.
Wonderful.
Yay, hooray. Thank you so much.
Yeah, totally. Our producer, our director, I believe every single person on the crew except for our sound guy, who was a cis straight man, but he, I thought that was funny because he had to listen to everything we said and couldn't say anything back. But yeah, so everyone who had a hand in it was a part of the community, so that's really exciting.
Super. Thank you for being on the show, Gretchen Wylder with These Thems.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, this is Chuck Tomasi from the Technorama Podcast and author of Podcasting for Dummies, and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
That's regular Chuck Tomasi without his podcast voice on. Here's a few selected birthdays for November 4th through November 10th, 2019. November 4th, Ralph Macchio.
Who's still 17.
The Karate Kid who ain't no kid anymore.
No, but he looks like it still.
Well, almost. He certainly does. And Doris Roberts.
Who doesn't love her?
She was actress and activist. She animal rights. I mean, just really a supporter of the LGBT community and just a wonderful person all the way around.
I mean, pardon the expression, but everybody loves Doris.
Exactly. And Walter Cronkite, the newsman to trust. Cronkite School of Broadcasting here at ASU is a big school downtown. Kathy Griffin, say what you will. She is a big advocate of the LGBTQ community.
And her shows are amazing.
And they are just a trip. Exactly. And Will Rogers, referred to as Oklahoma's favorite son. He was born in Indian Territory in 1879 of Cherokee descent. And I'm sure our friend Larry Nemechek is preparing something special in celebration for his 140th birthday.
And yet the Will Rogers Museum
is in Claremore, Oklahoma.
Oh, is it in Claremore, Oklahoma?
Yep.
Well, I know, isn't there, doesn't Larry do something related to Will Rogers in
there's
L.A.?
a museum in L.A., yes.
Right.
That he does some docent
He's a docent
thing.
for.
Yeah. Also on November 4th, Robert Mapplethorpe is a controversial photographer in New York who used primarily black and white film, and his celebrities, still life, and his most controversial works were of the BDSM culture of the 60s and 70s in New York.
That explains the line in The Birdcage. Are they part of the Mapplethorpe? No!
Right. Yes. November 5th, Tilda Swinton.
Speaking of odd and unusual.
Yes, she's a wonderful
But I love
actress.
her.
But, oh my God, so many quirky characters that she has played.
You have to see The Dead Don't Die.
Oh my God. If only for her.
She steals the movie.
She does. And she has a bit part.
It's a tiny
part.
part.
It's a bit part.
But it is one of the most memorable roles in the entire film.
It's craziness. Sam Rockwell, another character, quirky character.
Just another
guy.
character. She's just wild.
And Bryan Adams, a singer.
Who's still going strong.
Still going strong.
My goodness,
yes.
I follow him on Instagram. He is touring all over the place. Now,
Wow.
he's huge over in Europe, I believe.
Wow, interesting. And Art Garfunkel, the other half of Simon
and
Garfunkel.
Yeah,
yes.
the other half, Simon, he's the what follows the and.
Yes. And Roy Rogers, famed Western actor, and I always wanted a Shirley Temple and never wanted a Roy Rogers to drink when I was a kid.
You know, he's related to Will.
He is, yes.
They're brothers.
How did you know that?
It's a fact.
It's a fact. Yes. And then also on November 5th, Armin Shiberman. Quark. And Elke Summer.
Oh, my goodness. I haven't heard of her from a long...
Yes.
Actually, yeah, she was
in the Oscar.
Right. But I think she did a ton of appearances on the Match Game.
Oh, yeah. Just all kinds of things. She has one of the most obtuse lines in film ever in the Oscar. It's pick one from column 1 and 2 from column 3. Anyway, you get an egg roll or fortune cookie or some damn something. It's like, it has no relation to anything.
You have to see the
in
Oscar.
The film. Going on. It's like,
I would
where did that line come from?
I would recommend Harlan Ellison. I would recommend anybody, you need to see this movie. It is so bonkers.
It is crazy if you can find it.
Yeah, it's a tough one to find, but holy cow, it's so awful.
Yes. Also on November 5th, Corin Nemec.
Parker Lewis.
Yeah, and a friend of ours, Tiffany Mangan. And Jake Biondi, who has written a number of novels, Boys Town novels.
Yes.
November 6th, Sally Field.
Oh, who doesn't love Sally Field?
What a wonderful actress. Across the board. I mean,
comedy,
drama.
She's amazing.
Just amazing. And a tremendous ally for the community.
Well, largely because of her son.
Yeah, and her son. I mean, she is very supportive of her son. Tandy Newton, who was Maeve in Westworld, among other things.
Oh.
Rebecca Romaine, who played a transsexual in Ugly Betty.
Yes,
she did. As numerous sci-fi roles.
Most
recent.
Recent, well, yes. I mean, one of her big breakouts
number
was...
one.
Well, I was going to say, actually, she played... she was in X-Men.
Yep.
She played the shapeshifter, and Mephisto, I think was her name. But if I got that wrong, please forgive me. I'll turn to my geek card later. But yes, she's most recently cast as number 1 in Star Trek Discovery, and we love her.
Yep. She's wonderful. And Glenn Fry. What can you say?
Well, you know, I have really lately become such a huge fan of the Eagles, and his passing was really sad because he wrote what I think are some of my favorite Eagles tunes.
Right. So, and also Jonathan Harris.
Oh, the pain.
And the Wilds of Asia.
Oh, the Wilds of Asia. I can't do his voice.
He was just a tremendous. He continued to do voiceover in his later years.
Yeah, I mean, he played the old toy repairman in Toy Story 2.
Yep.
He also did some sounds in that one chess short. I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he was Manny.
Yep.
In A Bug's Life.
Yep. And also on November 6th, Andrew Cash, a Facebook friend of ours. November 7th, Marie Curie. She was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize.
Her discovery.
Oh, my God.
Radium.
Oh, my God. And
sadly, it killed her.
It sadly killed her, yeah, exactly.
Her and her husband, they had no idea what they were dealing with.
And their home is still off limits.
You're kidding.
No, you can only go in there for a certain period of time.
No kidding. I would have thought that by now.
With full protective gear.
No, really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, radium has,
There's got one heck of a half-life.
Yeah. Also on November 7th, Joan Sutherland, famed opera singer. She was probably, I think she was the one that discovered Pavarotti.
She discovered Pavarotti, and a number of other people, too.
Yeah. And Judy Tenuta.
Oh, my goodness.
So we had a signed,
an autographed
picture, thanks to Crazy Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it was a personalized autograph, too.
Yeah.
We love you, Joe, for doing that.
Yeah.
And Judy is just nuts.
And also Facebook friend Seungjin Park and friend of ours, Keith Byron. Happy birthday, Keith. November 8th, Gordon Ramsay, the Screaming Chef.
Oh, yes. If you put any more spice in that, people will start folding space.
Yes.
Now, that's made up, but still I could hear him say that.
Interesting thing is, I always noticed on his show that if they served crab cakes. He always ordered the crab cakes because that was
that's a great litmus test.
One of his litmus tests for the
it's like the litmus test.
Yeah, if you can't do that right,
you can't do anything right.
I mean, why have it on the menu? It's kind of like when I say if a restaurant is bold enough to serve duck,
they got to do it right.
Better do it well.
Yeah, otherwise forget it.
Yeah, otherwise just hang it up. You know?
Don't put it down.
November 8th, also Alfre Woodward.
Oh,
wonderful.
What an actress.
Bram Stoker.
Dracula. What else is there to say?
Exactly. Margaret Mitchell.
Hold. Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. What else can you say? Exactly. Also, Alexander James Adams,
no kidding,
who we did interview.
Oh, wonderful.
And Cynthia Ward, Facebook friend of ours, and Summer Sellers.
Happy birthday, Summers.
Happy birthday, Summers. Her name's Summer.
Yeah, she
but
does
we always call her Summers.
Yeah, tell the
story.
story.
Our niece. She's our niece. Well, my grandmother, Verna, she always had her made up names for everything. Hamlin's in Muskogee was Hamilton's, and there was Sonic was Sauna, and all these different things. And she said, well, Summers, and then Summer was maybe 2 at the time.
Ridiculously precocious.
And she said, it's Summer. And so after that,
it stuck.
Verna called her Summer.
But we don't.
We call her Summers all the time.
Well, because we're her gunkles and we can get away with it.
Exactly. November 9th, Hedy Lamarr.
That's Hedley.
No, it's not. It's Hedy. She was an actress. Wow. She was actress in Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia. Yeah. And, then came to the U.S. She basically invented Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I mean, that spread spectrum.
Who would have thought?
Amazing.
That she could, come up with something so scientific like that. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yep. Also on November 9th, Carl Sagan.
One of my favorite astrophysicists.
Billions and billions.
I mean, I loved this man for the way he looked at science.
Yes, absolutely. And Lou Ferrigno, Hulk Smash. The original.
He never said that.
No, he didn't?
No.
Oh, dang it.
I know. He never said Hulk Smash. He never spoke. He just grunted a lot and growled and whatever and looked intimidating.
Yep. Dorothy Dandridge, who was in Carmen Jones, 1954, which was a movie version of Carmen. It was the singing was dubbed by Marilyn Horne. Dorothy Dandridge was Carmen Jones was an all people
Black.
of color. And interesting thing, Marilyn Horne was married to a person of color
as well.
Yes, so very interesting. It's a fascinating film. Robert Duncan McNeil, who is Tom Paris in Voyager.
Yep.
And he was actually in Master of the Universe, too.
Yes, he was. Yeah, and he actually got his big break in the soap series All My Children.
That's
before, and then he transitioned over to big screen.
Yep. And also Mary Travers.
I was heartbroken when she passed away. Of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Peter, Paul, and Mary. And good friend of ours, Zach Hayhurst of Arizona Opera. Happy birthday, Zach. And Tony Kim. Happy
Heroes
birthday.
Within.
Yeah. His clothing line, he is authorized to sell both
Marvel now.
DC and Marvel.
I mean, this
Marvel
guy
clothing.
And that little enterprise of his started off really recently. We were almost there at the beginning.
Yep. Just fascinating story. November 10th, Taron Egerton.
Oh, my God.
Rocket Man.
I loved. Well,
oh my God.
He was great in The Kingsman, but oh my God, did I love Rocket Man.
Yep. He is. Did you know he's Welsh?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the accent for it. I mean, it's intense.
And Neil Gaiman, who wrote a B5 episode, Day of the Dead.
Oh, Day of the Dead that's right. It is his. You're right.
And one of my favorite Doctor Who stories,
The Doctor's Wife.
The Doctor's Wife. Richard Burton, what can you say? Former wife, husband.
Whoops.
Well, of Elizabeth Taylor. Well, you never know. Roy Scheider.
Oh, I loved him. Such a great actor.
Jaws, all that jazz. He played Joe Gideon.
Who was basically Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse. It was life story, and Fosse directed the film. Interesting, fascinating thing. Hugh Bonneville, Mr. Downton Abbey
Mr.
himself.
Downton Abbey.
Lord Grantham.
Yep.
Roland Emmerich.
Oh,
Mr. Stargate.
Well, he's also become Mr. Disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's... Oh, shoot, I can't think of the film... Irwin Allen, who became like king of the disaster films in the 70s. Roland has now succeeded him.
Oh, dear. I didn't know that. But we would have probably gotten together without Roland Emmerich.
Oh, yes, because that was our date movie.
It was. And also on November 10th, Anne Reinking.
Speaking of Bob Fosse.
Exactly. It's weird that Roy Scheider, who played basically Bob Fosse in the film, is the same birthday as Anne Reinking.
Yeah, and they did appear in the movie together, too.
Yeah, interesting. And Tim Rice, famed lyricist.
Great lyricist.
Yeah. And
who worked with Elton John.
Who? Taron Egerton, who was Rocker Band.
I know.
Yes. Wow.
So how can we connect that to Kevin Bacon?
I don't know. They both knew Kevin Bacon.
But I know somebody on a Disney Cruise Line who could do it.
Yeah, exactly. And Greg Lake.
Oh, of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, who left us too soon.
Yep. And Francois Couperin, who was harpsichord writer, wrote lots of music for harpsichord. His family was very musical. Louis Couperin. His father wrote a tremendous number of pieces for harpsichord, one of the earliest harpsichord composers.
And it's probably through Brendan that we know that name.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I knew the name Couperin, but I didn't know all of his history until Brendan came along. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
This is Pinky here. You and I and the brain are listening to Krypton Radio. Sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Love.
Go give a listen to our friends over at Krypton Radio. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station.
I love Pinky in the Brain.
And now, here we go.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
I don't know why I love that music. I just do.
Anyway, this is the feedback time. And pardon me, I'm getting over it. Still fighting this stupid cough. Anyhow, starting off with, this is regarding Ben's breakdown, Apocalypse Later International Fantastic Film Festival Review. This is when I got to write something on 27 films that we watched. And it was a very daunting task. But I had a great time doing it.
Was
anyway,
it 56 films, 57 films, something like that?
I don't recall. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a ton of movies. Anyway, got a comment from Apocalypse Later. And they said, here's a fantastic run-through of everything I screened. And when I say Apocalypse Later, it's actually Hal Estelle who programmed it. He said, here's a fantastic run-through of everything I screened last weekend at Apocalypse Later International Fantastic Film Festival 2019, the 4th annual Apocalypse Later International Fantastic Film Festival. From the ever-wonderful Ben Raggington. I love reading what other people got of these films. I select them all personally, though I hand over most of the award decisions to others. So they're all favorites of mine, and it's always great to see feedback. Thanks, Ben. Well, thank you, Hal, for calling me the ever-wonderful.
Well, you are.
Aw. And then I've got a comment also, a follow-up from, I'm going to get this wrong, so please, Edith, forgive me. The last name, I believe, is pronounced Crescenciana. So if I got that wrong, I apologize. Anyway, she says, definitely a different perspective of how each film is viewed. Just because I see a movie a certain way doesn't mean it's gospel.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a Welsh name and it really should be said Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
You never know.
There's a Z in there somewhere.
Exactly. Oops, I just broke something.
Oh, dear. And then, anyway, moving on, and the rest of these comments are all in regards to TG Geeks episode 244, where we interviewed J. Scott Coatsworth, and he starts off the feedback with simply one gigantic woo-hoo. Well, woo-hoo to you too. And then we got a comment from Jessica Butler. She says, "Woot, thanks for the birthday love." And then we got a comment from an old classmate of mine, excuse me, from Jackie Taryn Rankle. She said she commented that she listens through the YouTube link. And that's because Facebook does not play well with their articles very well.
Yeah, well, and so neither does the website, because if you click off of the website or your phone goes to sleep or however you're listening, it stops.
Yeah,
and then you have to start all over again.
But
YouTube continues on.
It continues
that's
on playing.
A great way for people to listen.
And she's been listening to us via YouTube, even back in the Slice of Sci-Fi days.
Oh, wow.
So she says, YouTube link, that always works best for me. Wow, Ben Raggington, 2 call-outs and 2 podcasts. As a fellow geek, I'm honored. Well, now you're 3 for 3, lady.
Yeah.
And she says, listening to the podcast, I should point out, she wrote this to me in a direct message, and she did give me permission to share this here, so I'm doing so, because I think this is very interesting. She says, listening to the podcast, there's a young lady that I know that has been freaking out over her pronouns. I didn't know how to address her. I wasn't sure if she was in transition, lesbian. I read one post where she demands to be called queer. Now, I would never call someone that. It was considered an insult, at least in the 80s.
Yeah, when we were kids.
And these young kids get really upset. They have no idea how much things changed. Thanks for the show. I listen as I'm working. And that's true. I think at one time she had like a graveyard shift, I think it was, or a second shift, and she would always listen to us on YouTube then. So there it is, Jackie. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that was a really, really good point to make.
It's very interesting the way pronouns are in transition, shall we say, right now, where people want to be called certain things and they're taking back the power in certain words that were used.
Certain words that
us.
were considered defaming. Queer was a defaming term in the 80s, and around the 90s, we started taking it back.
Yep. Well, you can leave a comment if you want on any of our episodes. You can leave comments on our Facebook page. You can leave comments on tggeeks.com, whether it's an article or an episode. You can leave comments on the YouTube episodes. There's a place to do that. You can do that also on Instagram and on Twitter. And that's about all of the places, I think.
So far that I know of.
So far,
I keep looking at other places where our podcast shows up, and I haven't seen any comments there.
But if you want a shout-out, we will certainly read your comment on air. You can also leave us a voicemail if you would like. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play that on air, and you can be as famous as we are. But when you do leave a comment, please play nice. Nope. That wasn't supposed to be there. That's what I was reaching for. Here we go.
Bloody button.
Welcome to Arabic Dictionary. Today's word is yalla. Yalla. A combination of 2 words, ya and Allah. Yalla is a colloquial Arabic word that means let's go, shall we, or hurry up. Dude, we only have 2 minutes to crack the safe open before the police arrives. Yalla. Hey, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Tell us in the comments if there are words you'd like us to feature next. Today's Arabic Dictionary word is available on t-shirts, mugs, and other cool products that you can buy for yourself or your loved ones. Click the link in our bio or in the description below.
The Grand Canyon Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are hosting their 3rd annual Red Dress Ball on November 16th at the Parsons Center for Health and Wellness. Proceeds go to Joshua Tree Feeding Program and AIDS Walk Arizona, sponsored by Aunt Rita's Foundation. There will be a silent auction and no-host bar, as well as many other activities. Tickets are $20. Go to azsisters.org. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Yes, well, Keith mentioned something that we did last weekend. Yes. We took a little trip.
We went to San Francisco, California.
My birthplace.
The Bay Area, yes. And we took your mother along. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a trip for her to see some old friends. And we had some interesting things that happened.
Oh, well,
I mean, besides the other interesting
thing, which the event we will not discuss.
The adventures we will not discuss.
No, we will not share those. But there are some interesting things and positive things that we got to do.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, we got to go have lunch. I got to meet Renata, which is
old
one
family
of your
friend
mother's
of ours.
Oldest friends.
Yes.
And she's just delightful German lady. Oh, my gosh, she was just incredible.
Her house.
Oh, it's a museum.
It is.
It's a museum. It literally is a museum.
It is a museum. I mean, the things that she's got in there, you were geeking out. You knew what some of these things were.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew their names. I'm like,
I did.
Okay, how did you know about the pipes?
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
I just call them pipes, but you actually refer to them by a name.
They're meerschaum pipes. She has a whole collection of meerschaum pipes, of really intricate, big, huge meerschaum pipes.
How did you know that?
Honey... My God.
Okay, forget I asked.
I'm lots of trivia stuffed in this brain that you don't even know about.
I suppose I learned something new that trip. Yeah. I'll tell you that. But I was impressed. And I think she was too, that you knew what they were.
Yeah, and we got to go to a lovely French bistro, which the food was incredible. It was amazing, just amazing. And then we got to go to the Japanese tea garden at Golden Gate Park.
I love the tea garden.
Recreate a photo
for the third time.
For the third time, we did it. We've done it about 11 years apart.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
imagine that. I hadn't done the counting.
Yeah,
but you're right.
Actually, 12 years apart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right,
because it was 95, and then 2007.
Actually, it was 96.
96. Well, okay. Well, 9 years and then 12 years. But anyway.
Still, it's close enough.
Whatever. But it was at the Buddha in the Japanese tea garden, and we recreated that photo
for the third time.
Interesting.
Yes.
To see the different pieces of us.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday.
Age. Oh, God, it's so depressing.
Oh, I know. And then on Sunday, we got to go to the
Cliff House.
The Cliff House had their Sunday brunch. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. The food was delightful. The people, everything about it was just.
It was a wonderful dining experience.
I didn't make those reservations until
the night before,
like 8 o'clock the night before, and so there was. If you have an opportunity to go to the Cliff House, the
Sunday brunch is fabulous,
and it's reasonably priced, and the food is incredible. The view is incredible. They had a lovely harpist. She actually played some interesting things.
Oh, she
played Stairway to Heaven.
She did Stairway to Heaven on the harp. I mean, it's like she almost made the song classically respectable.
Yeah, I was expecting
I was waiting for the
Dust in the
part.
Wind next.
Yeah.
You know, no Dust in the Wind, no Stairway to Heaven. Guitar stores.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, so, if you're going to do Stairway to Heaven, you might as well do Dust in the Wind.
Exactly. It's kind of like you go into the organ store. No Toccata and Fugue
D minor, right.
But that was our weekend last weekend. It was a kind of an interesting little trip.
Yeah.
And we want to give a shout out to all of the independent creators, whether they're filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. We are huge supporters of you, and we try to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Please buy their stuff. Tell people about the independent creators. Have cash for them when you go someplace. If you see them at a book fair or at a con or a convention or whatever, talk to them. Tell other people about them. Go buy their stuff. Please support independent creators. The Joshua Tree Feeding Program is a 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV/AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They are a place where the clients can select from a wide assortment of nutritional foods to take home. And they're set up as a store so their clients can pick and choose what they want, and it empowers them to choose what they want and not waste food. They are a all volunteer organization. Please consider supporting Joshua Tree either through a single gift or a monthly recurring gift. You can also do that at jtfp.org.
Okay, I got to run through this fast because we're running up against the clock. This is our weekly recap, starting with Sunday, October 27th, Dr. Zombie. Monster Family Physician number 72. On Monday, the 28th, TG Geeks episode number 245. On Tuesday, we had a press release, World AIDS Day concert here in Phoenix. On Wednesday, October 30th, Get Spooky with Halloween, Universal Monsters, Joe Bob Briggs apparel available now at frightrags.com. On Thursday, Halloween, the Morbido Film Festival will host the world premiere of supernatural short film Black Moon. Also, Andrea's Angle. She looks at the movie Harriet and calls it inspirational. And we ran a special article on the short film A Tricky Treat. This is a short film by Patricia Chica. And
one of my favorites.
Oh, it's a classic now. And then on Friday, November 1st, News Sushi number 86, morsels of news from Japan and beyond. And we close it off on Saturday, November 2nd, Ben's Gay Breakdown. The movie Body Blow only delivers a low blow.
You can find all these things at tggeeks.com as well as entries on our Facebook page. And now... Oops. There we go. My sound didn't launch.
No, it didn't. Need to give a couple of shout-outs. First to the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News for republishing our content from time to time, and it is put out by the Human Arkle and Dale versus Evil, but that was only for Halloween. Since Halloween is over, I guess he's just now the Human Arkle, and he is Brian Weber, and you can find him...
Yeah, he's back to just the Human Arkle.
Just the Human Arkle? Okay. You can find the Post Dispatch News by finding the Human Arkle on Twitter, and you can find him on Twitter by searching at Arkle. That is Arkle. And he has the Shameless Cash Grab on YouTube. He's just wrapped up season 3. And yes, it has wrapped up all 20 movies. Whew. And it is up for your enjoyment. You can find it by going to youtube.com/Arkle Studios. We need to give a couple of shout outs to some Facebook groups as well for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, to Gay Geeks After Hours. When I asked if we could share, they said, yes, please share away. And we do. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. That's all one word. And then to The Gay Geek for also allowing us to share our lovely stuff on their page. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. And as always, we must give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thanks, Jeremiah. And lastly, we can be found on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Check us out on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays and listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station, as you heard about earlier. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have links about things that we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and others. Peace.
Cheers.